1 week in Poland. News, comments, events, everything you need to know about the country you live in. Hello everybody from this sunny Saturday in Warsaw. Welcome to a new episode of 1 Week in Poland, the broadcast made in IMI Radio, which brings you through the news of the week. My name is Fabio Turco. In the first part, as usual, I will get you know about the most important news of the last 7 days in Poland. In the second part, I will give you some suggestions what to do in the weekend, so today and tomorrow in the capital city to enjoy this vibrant city. So, if you are ready, let's go. The first news of the week is about something I anticipated to you in the last episode, the historical visit of the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk along the President of Poland Andrzej Duda at the White House. Why is it historical? Well, because it's the first time the US President, in this case Mr. Joe Biden, welcomes the Prime Minister and the President of Poland together. And it is quite remarkable considering the ongoing disagreement between the presidency and the government about many topics. There were many fears in the previous weeks about this visit, that something could be go wrong between Mr. Tusk and Mr. Duda, that one of them could say something not appreciated from the other side. But well, I want to give you a spoiler, nothing bad happened. First of all, the context and the reason of this visit. March 12, 2024 remarked 25 years from the entrance of Poland in NATO, a key date in the history of Poland in terms of security. And indeed, the security and the war in Ukraine were the core of the meeting with the US President Joe Biden. During the talks, the leaders spoke about the need to provide continued support to Ukraine, and it was announced the proposal of a loan of $2 billion to Poland and the possibility for Poland of purchasing helicopters and missiles from US. Mr. Joe Biden hailed the fact that Poland is spending almost of 4% GDP on defense, the highest relative level in NATO, contributing to development of the alliance. He thanked also Poland for the support shown to Ukraine, and on the American side, he said that the support for Poland is ironclad. Mr. Donald Tusk said that today there can be no safe Europe without a strong Poland, and he said also that there cannot be Europe without a free and independent Ukraine. The Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk also asked the American Congress to unblock the bill providing $60 billion for Ukraine that, as you probably know, is currently freezed. The Polish president, Mr. Andrzej Duda, said that their visit, the visit in Washington along with Mr. Donald Tusk on the anniversary of Poland's NATO accession, shows that the Polish-US alliance is and will remain strong, no matter who is in power in both countries. The only small incident, if we can call it like that, was when Mr. President Andrzej Duda published a call in the Washington Post for NATO members, defense spending target to be raised from the current 2% of GDP to 3%. This statement caused a little disagreement with the US authorities, The department spokesman Matthew Miller said that it would be first better to ensure that all the countries in the alliance meet the 2% threshold, which many countries are still not respecting. But this is something very little, if we can probably, is either not an incident. But the meeting in Washington wasn't the only important international meeting which involved the highest Polish authorities this week. Yesterday in Berlin, Germany, the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, the German Prime Minister Olaf Scholz, and the French President Emmanuel Macron have met in the regional forum called Triangle of Weimar. The leaders discussed the ways of providing greater support for Ukraine in its defense against Russian aggression. Following the summit, they announced plans to provide more military equipment for Kyiv, including using frozen Russian assets to finance the purchase of weapons. Mr. Donald Tusk welcomed the fact that the three countries were speaking with one voice and said that rumors that European capital differ on important issues were exaggerated. He announced also that the next summit of the three leaders would take place in Poland in the early summer. Speaking always about security, the Warsaw's mayor Rafał Trzaskowski and Poland's defense minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz have announced a 117 million zloty, 27 million euro program to improve the capital's emergency preparedness, so the preparedness of Warsaw, including a better system of shelters. Mr. Rafał Trzaskowski reassured that Poland is a safe country and any very bad scenario is assumed. However, he said we must be prepared for every eventuality. City officials have already carried out an audit of locations that could serve as places of shelter. There are quite a lot of these places in Warsaw, explained Mr. Trzaskowski, around 7 million square meters. There are mainly underground car parks, the metro, and all sorts of underground structures. The Warsaw mayor also said that he wants there to be an independent water and energy link in every school and a requirement for all new buildings to have a reinforced shelter. A survey ordered by the previous government in 2022 showed how only up to 300,000 people could find a place in a bomb shelter in case of necessity. And now we change completely topic. This is something economic, but something that can interesting for the everyday life, because Poland's government has announced that it will end the 0% VAT rate on food that it was introduced 2 years ago to help people to soften the effects of the inflation. The finance ministry stated that the recent slowing of price rises makes the measure no longer necessary. Poland's government has announced that it will hand this measure for this reason, and indeed the last data about inflation are positive. In January, the inflation in Poland reached only 2.8%. When the measure was introduced in February 2022, the inflation had reached 9.2%. There was also a peak in February 2023 of 18.4%. Probably, if you are living here for a long time, probably you remember. Anyway, the decision drew criticism from the Law and Justice Party, the Conservative Party, which was formerly at the government. And also the Poland's central bank released a forecast indicating that if protective measures such as VAT cuts and energy price freezes remain in place, the inflation this year will be around 3%. But without them, it would stand at 5.7%. So let's see what's going on in the future. There is also a statement by the global rating agency Fitch, which has lowered Poland's economic growth forecast to 2.2% in 2024 from the 2.5% expected earlier. The explanation by Fitch is that they expect private consumption to improve this year and the next year, supported by the recent minimum wage increase, welfare schemes, strong wage growth, and falling inflation. So as you see, the news are correlated. The good news is the expected growth for the next year remains unchanged at 3.2%. And now a news that we can find on News from Poland, the web magazine in English language that I always suggest. So if among the listeners there is someone from the south of the country, from the south of Poland, this could be interesting for you, because a contract has been signed to build what will be Poland's longest tunnel, stretching almost 3.8 kilometers through part of the Western Beskids mountains, which are in the southern part of the country. Once completed, the tunnel and the related rail modernization will cut the train journey time between Kraków, Poland's second largest city, and Nowy Sącz, which is a major regional city of around 80,000 people. And the cut will be around 2/3. The broader investment program, it is part of which is financed by the US post-pandemic recovery fund, will also slash travel times between Kraków and the mountain resort town of Zakopane. Zakopane, if the place to go in during the ferie zimowe in the winter time, the development which are due to be completed by 2029, so in 5 years, we cut the train journey times between Kraków and Zakopane to 90 minutes. Currently, the fastest connection is around 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's a huge improvement. And now we are approaching to the end of the first part of 1 Week in Poland with the last news. For now, the last news is we can say an history pill. Because 44 years ago, March 14th, 1980, one of the major incident in the Polish civil aviation happened in Poland, right in Warsaw, when an Ilyushin 62 plane from the Polish LOT Airlines flying from New York crashed near the Okęcie airport. The reason of the crash was reported as an engine failure, and unfortunately 87 people died, including 10 of the crew. So yes, this is a very sad anniversary. We remember that among the fatalities were the American ethnomusicologist Alan Parkhurst Merriam, 22 members of an US amateur boxing team, and the Polish singer Anna Jantar. Anna Jantar is right now still considered an icon of the Polish pop music. At the time she was 29, she was very young. And at the time she was at the peak of her popularity. Despite the young age, she managed to publish 4 albums. Tyle słońca w całym mieście, So Much Sun in the Wall City, za każdy uśmiech, for every smile. Zawsze gdzieś czeka ktoś. There's always someone waiting somewhere. And in the year of the accident, she published Anna Jantar. So now we want to remember Anna Jantar, concluding this first part of the broadcast with her biggest success, probably. Nic nie może wiecznie trwać. Nothing can last forever.
Znajomy adres, te same schody i nagły przestrach u drzwi. A może to wszystko się śni? Zwyczajne kwiaty na parapecie, po kątach też zwykły kurz. A jeśli to przepadło już, lęk, głuchy lęk na dnie, skryty gdzieś. Wtedy dziwisz się, że tak kocham nieprzytomnie, jakby zaraz świat miał się skończyć. Kiedy pytasz mnie, czemu rzucam się jak ogień, rozpramiona twe, myślę sobie, nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Co zesłał los, trzeba będzie stracić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Za miłość też przyjdzie kiedyś nam zapłaci. I tylko cisza i nasze ręce i myśl gorąca jak cień. A jeśli tak naprawdę jest, wtedy dziwisz się, że tak kocham nieprzytomnie, jakby zaraz świat miał się skończyć. Kiedy pytasz mnie, czemu rzucam się jak ogień, rozpłamiona twe, myślę sobie, nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Co zesłał los, trzeba będzie stracić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Za miłość też przyjdzie nam zapłacić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Co zesłał los, trzeba będzie stracić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Za miłość też przyjdzie kiedyś nam zapłaci. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Co zesłał los, trzeba będzie stracić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Co zesłał los, trzeba będzie stracić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać. Co zesłał los, trzeba będzie stracić. Nic nie może przecież wiecznie trwać.
Welcome back to the second part of One Week in Poland. She was Anna Jantar. Now we are going to dive in the Warsaw weekend. So, what we can do to hang out in this first spring days? So, as I always say, hang out, especially for the people coming from abroad, and they came to Poland in the last months, and that don't know, or they are know only few people in the city, this is a very good occasion to meet people, to enjoy the city, to be more involved in the Polish society. So the first proposal that I want to give you for this weekend is not a concert, as I usually do, but there will be later. The first suggestion is a theatrical performance that will be held today at Club Bardzo Bardzo in ulica Nowogrodzka 11, starting at 8 p.m. The title of this theatrical performance is The Polish Kings. Improvised opera, improwizowana opera, celebrates the baptism of Poland. So actually, I have to say, this is for Polish speakers at least a bit. So probably what I said previously is not very well connected. But yeah, I can assure you that this is very funny, despite of that usually speaking about kings, about history, can be considered boring. This is not the case. All the most important kings and queens of Poland are playing in absurd plot. This is the presentation, not saying myself. Conspiracies and plot twist. The play is also surrounded by high-quality classical music, Slavic arias, improvised cadenzas, and other musical performances. A few words about improwizowana opera, improvised opera. It's a comedy group experimenting with the traditional music convention and the aesthetics of classical singing. Based on centuries of opera tradition, they present often absurd stories in which the audience makes all the key choices, which guarantees frequent plot twist and a surprising plot outcome. What distinguishes improwizowana opera from other improvisation groups is the in-depth knowledge of harmony, cadence, and compositional techniques. Thanks to this, each of the performances is not only a reason to laugh, but also a delicious musical snack for the ear. The price is 30 zloty per person, 50 zloty per couple. So I'm sure this is a very funny reason to go out today night and to enjoy. I remember is at Club Bardzo Bardzo, ulica Nowogrodzka 11, starting from 8 p.m. Warsaw. The second suggestion instead is a concert, and what a concert is a concert from from Nosowska. Nosowska is one of the most important voices on the alternative music scene in Poland. For years, she was the front woman of the Hey, that is very popular Polish alternative rock band. She will perform today night at the Stodoła Club, starting from 6 p.m. Club Stodoła is in ulica Stefana Batorego 10, and the concert will take place as part of the With You in the Evening, Widzimy się wieczorem tour, promoting the artist's latest album, Degrengolada. There will be also not only the songs from the Grengolada, but also the most important songs of the career of Katarzyna Nosowska. A few words about Nosowska, who is a singer, lyricist, writer, an expressive personality in the music scene, in the Polish music scene. As we read in the presentation, she releases an album only when she has something to say. So each time redefining her musical identity. So after 5 years, in 2023, she came back with the new musical material, continuing cooperation with Fox, and so came out Degrengolada. I can only suggest you because really Nosowska is really a legend. And a last suggestion for tomorrow. For tomorrow, I suggest always at Club Bardzo Bardzo in ulica Nowogrodzka 11, Warsaw. This is a double show, a show by Fao Sanato and Tommy Halik DJ set. So in the first part of the night, Fao Sanato will prepare a visual and acoustic experience to dive deep into here and now. So it's something very metaphysical, while the second part of the event will be a mix of ethnic sounds in a down-tempo and a house atmosphere served by Tommy Halik DJ. Speaking about Fao Sanato, he has a folk style using live instruments and singing with a deep electronic pulse. In this electroacoustic travel, he meets flamenco and Brazilian samba, and using also jazz guitar that collide with African drums and Middle Eastern mysticism. So it's something very specific, very particular, and something that deserves to be tried. And the second part, Tommy Halik, he's music producer, educator, and organizer. He traveled a lot around Asia, discovered the rich diversity of the sound of local cultures. His music draws inspiration from the sources and combines them into an harmonious symphony. So it will be something with many Oriental sound, Oriental echo, and yeah, this was my last suggestion for today. As usual, I want to thank you for the listening, to stay with me in this half an hour. Thank you to Micha who assisting me with the technical issue. And yeah, I give you an appointment to the next week in 7 days with 1 week in Poland to discover the most important news. And I want to leave you with a song of Nosowska. The song is called Sosna. See you.
Właśnie wiatru trącił sośnie czubek, krecie kopce liczę na sen. Myślałam, że to nudne. Za światem nie tęsknię, już nie. Co u ciebie? Czy na szczycie mocno wieje? Czy samotność kąsa aż do łez? Napisz mi, jak jest, jak się czujesz, czy widoki ci smakują, czy wspinaczka opłacała się. Mów szczerze, jak jest. Ludzie, mało kogo rozpoznaję. Wiem zaś, że to mniszek, nie mlecz. Noce tu są smoliste i bezgłośne. Nie zamykam powiek, bo po co?
1 Week in Poland. News, comments, events, everything you need to know about the country you live in.